The Smith & Wesson Retirement Plan. Your final option may at first seem very dark and drastic, but it's actually quite liberating when you think it through. Simply don't retire. You accept the fact it is unlikely you'll be able to save up for retirement, or that the risks of saving for retirement are too great, and you resign yourself to working until you die. Most people will then ask, well, how will I support myself in my old age if I can't work? Very simple. You drop 33 cents on the Smith & Wesson retirement program. Specifically, you buy a .45 caliber bullet and you take yourself out permanently. Admittedly, this sounds very extreme and it is very dark, but again, if you thoroughly think it through, it is actually very liberating. To understand this retirement plan, you have to once again ask yourself what life is all about. Is it about being in a nursing home, unaware of who you are, where you are, soiling yourself? Is it about draining the already inadequate and dwindling financial resources of younger generations just so you can stay alive in such a miserable state for another 6 months? Is life about suffering a stroke, losing the use of half your appendages, and being pushed around in a wheelchair until your death? Or is life about fishing, family, friends, riding motorcycles, hiking, traveling, sailing, drinking, having sex, raising wiener dogs, eating ice cream, and then graciously accepting when it has ended? The problem in society today is that we put too much emphasis on staying alive instead of living. And if you live in fear of death and try to postpone it a mere couple months at all costs, you run the risk of ruining all of your life. Saving for retirement is where you run that risk. In contributing to a retirement program, essentially what you are doing is trading away your youth for old age. The problem in doing so is that when you are older, you cannot enjoy life as much as you could when you were young. And since you only get one life, you have to make sure it counts, making such a transaction foolish. Making it worse, though, is you can really diminish, if not outright cripple your youth as you try to save for your old age. I know many young 20-somethings who just don't have the disposable income to afford saving for retirement. However, they feel so guilty for not contributing to a retirement program, they end up contributing anyway, even though it impoverishes them today. Can they afford to go to the Rocky Mountains? No. Will they ever see Europe? No. Can they afford sushi? No. But hey, at least they've got $5,000 saved in that likely-to-be-confiscated Roth IRA. The Smith & Wesson retirement plan avoids all this, relieving you of all the guilt, all the pressures, and all the responsibilities of saving for retirement. This isn't to say that you won't enjoy life in your old age or that you don't try to live as long as possible. What it is to say is that the majority, or at least plurality, of your medical and health costs will be incurred in the last 6 months of your life. Most likely, these last 6 months of your life will not be pleasant. And so, if you simply kill yourself when it's clear your condition is terminal or your life is too painful to live, you avoid incurring these costs, meaning you never have to slave away during your youth saving up to pay for them. The primary contention most people have with euthanasia is a distaste and cowardice of suicide, especially for financial reasons. But people have to be able to discern between suicide and a mercy killing. For example, my grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Over 6 years, we watched her decay in a nursing home from a fully sentient adult into a crumpled-up vegetable where the brainstem sadistically kept her body alive. The hell that poor soul must have endured during those 6 years is unfathomable, and makes a 33-cent retirement plan a godly act of mercy. Finally, if truth be told, the majority of not just the United States, but all Western countries' financial problems would go away if the Smith & Wesson retirement plan was used. While social pension plans such as Social Security are commonly cited as the source of the country's financial problems, it is health programs, such as Medicare and Medicaid, that are really bankrupting Western countries and enslaving their younger generations. If self-selected euthanasia was commonly practiced, not only would everybody avoid horrible fates such as my grandmother, but our financial problems would literally be solved overnight, rendering this book moot.